I don't know if you have anything open, but NFL Pro has the really good breakdown for all the stats. We're live right now too.
Okay, I'll get there. I just gotta get my YouTube.
All right, here we go.
Adam Schefter at ESPN says there's 275,000 people.
Well, that was some party in downtown Detroit. 775,000 people shattering the NFL draft attendance record.
This is the future.
Oh, great.
Evolution. This is the future.
Oh, great.
Evolution.
Oh, great.
All right, huge win for your Detroit Lions tonight versus the Baltimore Ravens. Welcome into the Rock Down Detroit Lions post-game show. We're going to bring in Dan Campbell as soon as we figure out where Dan Campbell is going to be tonight. I didn't see anything lined up on the Detroit Lions YouTube, but Eric and I are going to break it all down for you here. What happened in this game? Some big plays, man. Some players finally stepped up, but I've got a couple of questions for you. Number one, do we still need Zadarius Smith? Hold on. I got to do this because you're not cool unless you do this to start your stream. And then talk about the edge. El-Qadim Muhammad. Zadarius Smith who? El-Qadim Muhammad kicked ass tonight. Hell of a game by these guys. These boys went in to M&T Stadium tonight and absolutely terrorized Lamar Jackson in the fourth quarter. Great game. Let's bring Eric in. Let's talk all about it. Eric, welcome back, man.
Hey.
Welcome
What's
back.
happening?
Brother,
Yeah.
man. Big time game.
2-1.
2-1. Did you think that we were going to pull down 7 sacks tonight?
No, I did not see 7 sacks coming on Lamar tonight. Not even close. I thought if we had 2 or 3, that was going to be a lot.
So we had a pretty good week. I know you were off, but I covered a few things. And one of the things in the keys to the game that I said that was going to be super important this week against Lamar Jackson was contain. Don't get too far outside. Don't get too deep. And start to roll that spy. What changed in the fourth quarter? Calvin Shepard finally starts to use a spy. Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone. And next thing you know, sacks start coming in bunches. Lamar can't run forward. He can't run to the outside. Anzalone's coming right at him. Hutchinson barrels in for the second sack of the game. I believe it was his second sack of the game. And then it was El-Qadim Muhammad again. I mean, what a game by these guys tonight where they were winning with three defensive linemen and a spy. Like I said on Twitter, go figure. you finally start doing the things that matter, the things that can win football games, and this is what happens. One of the biggest errors of the night tonight was exactly what I said was going to happen in the pregame show and in the keys to the game show was single high safety was going to just be a problem. And every time tonight, it seemed like the Lions were in single high safety. We were getting torched. We were getting absolutely torched. Now, unfortunately, the view that ESPN gave us tonight did not allow us to see the back end of the field often enough. So it'll be interesting to see when I watch the replay tomorrow how much single high safety we were in actually in the fourth quarter, because it seemed like the defense changed. And if I'm going with a gut reaction right now, not seeing the tape, I'm going to say that Kelvin changed the defense up in the fourth quarter. And I think he started rolling with a little bit more zone, obviously started rolling with the spy, and it closed it, man. It slammed the door shut on Lamar Jackson. There's nothing better than watching a guy like Derrick Henry try to throw his helmet down and ends up tripping on the player bench and falling down onto his ass where he was all night. Before I get rolling through some stats, tell us what the biggest plays of the night were for you, and I guess just walk us through the first four quarters.
The biggest play of the night for me was the absolute monster of a game that David Montgomery had, that big, giant, long 63-yard run. Oh my God. That's what changed the game. That when he got that run, that changed everything. Because shortly after that, we took the lead, and from there on, we did not look back. And we could have poured it on these guys. The Lions outgained them over 100 yards. We literally could have scored quite a bit more tonight, and we left a lot of points out on the field against a very, very good team. Don't take anything away from the Ravens. They're very well coached, very well. Their players do what they're supposed to do. Those guys are very good, and we played a very, very good team. And next week, when we play the Browns at home, expect a very similar defense. It's going to be another slugfest as far as the defense goes. I don't think that the Browns have the firepower on offense. They may even be going to a different quarterback because Joe Flacco looks absolutely awful. But this Lions team, listen, last week against the Bears and this week against the Ravens left so many points out on the board. Like we were talking during the game, when we get a turnover, which happened a couple times during this game, and we could have had one more had Brian Branch held onto the ball. We're just not scoring enough points off of turnovers. And that's something that these guys really need to focus on going into this next week. We get turnovers on the Browns. We need to be getting 7 points out of it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's listed as one of my major concerns. So I want to talk about a few things and we'll dive into the stats. But you're absolutely right in assessing the fact that the Lions 38-30, this could have been a 50 burger night. The Lions left more than 14 points on the board. Anytime you get, some big stops at the goal line, you strip the ball away from Lamar Jackson, you push it back to, 20 yards. You should have been able to march that ball down and come away with some points. There was multiple situations in this game where there was two missed picks, by the way. There was two big missed picks. You mentioned one, but there was definitely two.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the Lions probably left at least 14 points on the board. At least.
Yeah.
You've got to look, if you're asking your guys to get turnovers, if you're asking your guys to provide an emphasis on trying to punch the ball out and they do what they're asked to do, John Morton has to put that ball in the end zone or at least through the uprights, but in the end zone to be preferred. You have to walk away with something. Here's my biggest concern right now. It seems like when we're running our scripted plays, this is usually what's said for players, but when we're running our scripted plays, now I guess that's something to be argued, whether John Morton has a script for every quarter if he just has a script for the first 15 to 20, what is he scripting, right? How far into the game is he scripting? I don't know. But whenever we get a turnover, he shits the bed. The play calling is atrocious. We're not going to what was working. Just the previous possession where we may have been moving the ball. Hell, we may even have scored. And then you turn the ball over back to the Lions, and he doesn't know what to do. The ball's not going downfield. Jared Goff is getting pressure. You've got, Jahmyr Gibbs back there tonight. He was not effective for the majority of the game. Monty was effective. And now maybe Monty was gassed at times after we got a turnover and he just couldn't go in right away. That's a possibility. He'll never admit to that. He'll probably take every snap if he could. So those are things that we don't know, right? We don't know, the level of Montgomery's health throughout the game as far as, does he have enough juice? But man, utilizing Gibbs in situations where it clearly should have been Monty, that's a mistake. Not pushing the ball downfield, the big explosive plays that were there to start the game. Why did they disappear? But clearly this was a ground game kind of a night. And I thought that there would have been a little bit more passing in this game, at least for 250. I mean, that's the mark that I put on the game was 250 and we didn't even get there. However, I did say that if the Lions did throw the ball more than 28 times in this game, that I'd be highly surprised. And Jared Goff attempted just that many passes. So you were going to say something. Go ahead, and then I'll run through.
We were talking about leaving points on the board. Imagine if Jake Bates hits that 67-yard field goal, and he didn't miss it by much. The Ravens got a gift on theirs, but just imagine had he hit that field goal, how sweet this victory would be then. Oh my God, it would have been 41-30 and
an NFL record.
And an NFL record in their house to end the half like they did to us at the end of the game.
Yeah, that would have been super sweet.
So we just snapped a 20-year losing streak to the Ravens. We have not beat them since 2005.
That's huge, man. It's huge to be able to finally go erase another one of those futile records that the Lions have held on to for 2 decades, right? Big shout out to G Money the Don with the $5 super chat. Says, let's go Detroit Lions. Let's go G Money the Don, man. Appreciate the donation. Thank you for joining in the Rock Down Detroit Lions post-game show tonight. I'm a little bit surprised by an individual that I did not expect it was going to be able to get this kind of play time this early in his career. And it's somebody that you spoke about prior to Sailors, Jacob Sailors.
Yeah.
He joins the Detroit Lions as he was a priority UDFA, I believe. Makes his way onto this roster, took snaps away from Craig Reynolds in this game, and in kick returns, he returned 3 for 80 yards, 26.7 average, had a long of 29 tonight. Khalif Raymond also returned 1 for 30. Big game by those guys. 4 returns, 110 yards out of special teams tonight. Did a great job. I thought special teams overall did a fairly good job tonight. We needed all three.
Except for the one long kickoff return.
Right, except for that, but they did fairly well tonight. We needed all 3 phases, and they got all 3 phases tonight. Just run straight through the stats. One of the other things that we're paying attention to throughout the season is what I call the Morton effect, and that is the third quarter. How are the Lions coming out of the half? Are they able to put points on the board? And depending on whether you have the ball first or second, it doesn't matter. It's been a situation that the Lions have been dealing with for multiple seasons. Now, last season, there was spurts where the Lions would come out in the third quarter and they were able to do something, but it was never enough. Hardly ever scoring in the third quarter. And now this is the second game in a row that John Morton has helped the Detroit Lions put up points. So his play calling can be great at times. And honestly, the large contingency of his play calling is really good. And it has been. Outside of the Packers game, the last 2 games have been great. He just has to really, and from my opinion, my perspective, he really needs to work on how he's going to handle these turnovers. for me as, an individual that sees the game a little bit different or a lot different than I think a lot of other people, when you take the ball away from somebody, I mean, their soul is crushed, right? That the ether is high on your team. Everyone's amped up. And for me, it's go downfield, man. You've got to J-Mo was ineffective after the first series. You've got to get him involved in the game. And I think that's your opportunity on turnovers is you've got to try to put the ball in his hands any which way you can. And you also mentioned during the game too, like, some end around something. If you're not able to get him downfield, hey, let's get him behind the line of scrimmage and see if he can't take 1 yard or to the house.
Have to. Yeah. You have to get J-Mo involved. His speed kills. It kills. He had 2 catches in the first quarter for 40-something yards, 21 apiece, and then nothing. I think he had 1 more target the whole rest of the game.
Absolutely cannot disappear in big games like this. Big shout out to Dan Orlovsky tonight, who left Jared Goff off of the top 5 quarterback list. I made sure to let him know on Twitter tonight. You put Daniel Jones and Mac Jones on the top 5 list and Lamar Jackson over top of Jared Goff. So you suck. # stay in bounds. Yeah. Feel free to join my Twitter at Will Rock Jr. and let him know too how you feel about Jared Goff. So first series for the Detroit Lions ends in a touchdown, man. They got out of the gates in a hurry. They were pushing the ball downfield, 11 plays, 67 yards, took 5 minutes and 44 seconds off the clock. Beautiful. Just a beautiful series. I don't think it could have gone any better than it did. A couple of big plays. He had a 19-yard pass play to Jamison Williams that brought the Lions down to the 18-yard line. Prior to that, you had a big play again to Jamison Williams for 24 yards that brought us up to the 41-yard line. So, again, it was working early and then just disappeared. But Jared Goff and explosive plays all over the place tonight. Made some beautiful throws all night long. And then the Baltimore Ravens get the ball. They go 6 plays, 80 yards, took 3 minutes, 36 seconds off the clock. The ball game's tied 7-7. Lions get the ball. They go 3 and out. They punt. Ravens get the ball back. They go 3 and out and punt. Lions start the second quarter, drive 18 plays in 98 yards, 10 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock. There was someone in one of the chats during one of the live streams this week that said we needed to sustain really long drives in this game. And my response to them was, yeah, I just don't see that happening. I thought the Lions are just going to continue to push the ball through the air all night long. And man, they did the total opposite tonight. They stole the ground game. The Ravens were stout in the beginning. And once you put Monty in the game, it was a different story. 18 plays, 98 yards, starting with a 4-yard run out of our end zone. The Lions get backed up on an illegal formation call, and then a 10-yard quick pass to Sam Laporta. Throughout the game, Eric, again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but seeing the defense, right? Seeing the defense. Seeing that soft shell that they were doing, and we were right around the 30-yard line, and I said, man, there's Sam Laporta. You throw that to the 41-yard line, that's a completion and a first down. Twice in a row we called it. Twice in a row it happened. Identical plays on the field. Clearly, John Morton seeing it too. The Ravens had this soft zone that they were playing at times that just left this wide open hole on the right side hash. You have to be able to take advantage of that stuff. When you're not putting the ball up in there, you can't. But it was there all night, and Sam Laporta proved that it was there and that he could take care of the football. Montgomery, man, go ahead.
I think that goes both ways. When the Ravens were out on offense, what was happening? Their tight end was open all day long.
Edwards, yeah.
Yeah. And Kulos or whatever, the guy, I didn't know who he was. They're 2 tight ends just all day. That's what killed us. And I can't believe that we didn't get more to Sam Laporta, because I am absolutely positive there was more left out on the plate there for Sam Laporta.
Oh, there was a ton of meat left on the bone tonight for Sammy. And you know what's funny is in the pregame show, keys to the game, what I had said for Baltimore is I said, you know what, go ahead and beat us with your tight ends. Just don't beat us with Henry and don't beat us with Lamar. That was another one of my calls where I felt like we had an opportunity that if we got punished by the tight ends, okay. As long as it's not those other two, which are extremely explosive football players. Not to say that those tight ends tonight didn't have a good game, because they did, but I think that that's exactly what Calvin Shepard was going to allow them to do. And the reason why, it goes back to one of the schemes that I spoke about that I thought would work in this game. Clearly, when you're sticking in single high safety, that's when we got gashed the most tonight. I absolutely despise the single high safety and being stuck in man all the time, especially in a game like this against these type of football players. You can't just be stuck in single high safety. And so I guess could you close the door for me? So I guess to, walk this out a little bit, when the Lions were when they were in their soft zone, Edwards was able to do a few things, but when we were in the single high safety, that's when he had his bigger plays. So it was expected that was going to happen. However, when we are in the zone, there's something that we are doing a little bit different. It wasn't allowing Lamar to move. And if you can keep him bottled up, you can keep him contained, and all of a sudden now in the second half, you're able to win with your front 3 or 4. That's a beautiful thing. The game changed in a hurry. In a hurry. Everybody started to fly to the football. They started to spy Lamar. I swear it just started in the fourth quarter, but we started to put the spy on Lamar. And then all of a sudden, he's going down left and right. So I can't wait to watch the tape back to get a better idea exactly what happened, where it shifted, why Kelvin made the change that he did. But that's not something that Aaron Glenn typically did. Aaron Glenn stuck to his guns, so to speak, and he was too stubborn. And we would continue just to get murdered all the time, whether it was through the air or on the ground. And he was reluctant to ever change. At least that's what it felt like. Calvin Shepard called a great game.
Well, it seemed like in the first half, he did stick to his guns and he didn't change anything up. And then in the second half, started to change things. And then the fourth quarter changed it a bunch.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying too. That's what it seemed like. To move forward here, so I kind of stopped. I kind of stopped in the second quarter. Lions score on their first possession in the second quarter, going up 14-7, 98-yard drive. Ravens get the ball back. They go down on downs, turn the ball over. Lions get the ball, another 3 and out, punt the ball. And the Ravens get it back. They go 4 plays, 49 yards for a touchdown. Jake Bates comes in on the next possession, misses that monster of a field goal. And then the third quarter happens. Ravens get the ball to start. First lead change. Lions finally go down in this game 21-14. Lions get the ball back. Immediate touchdown. 7 plays, 60 yards. Again, 3 minutes, 38 seconds off the clock. Tie ball game. Ravens get the ball. They punt. They go 3 plays, 0 yards, 1:37 on a swarming defense. Let's take a look at this play-by-play. So Jake Bates kicks the ball off 61 yards after the touchdown, and they ended up placing the ball at the Baltimore 40. Lamar Jackson hits a short pass to Zay Flowers for 7 yards. Brian Branch makes a stop, and then El-Qadim Muhammad gets in for a 7-yard sack. Lamar throws an incompletion on the next play under pressure, and then they punt the ball away. So obviously El-Qadim Muhammad had a pretty damn good, football game tonight. Next possession to start the fourth quarter. Lions score a touchdown, and they go up 28-21. Next play for the Ravens, or the next possession, they go 10 plays, 49 yards, and only come away with a field goal, bringing the lead now to 4, 28-24. Lions punt on the ensuing possession, 3 plays, 1:09 off the clock, only 5 yards, and then you get the fumble by Lamar Jackson. One play, Derrick Henry up the middle to the Baltimore 21 for no gain. Aiden Hutchinson finds a way to scratch that ball away, and it's recovered by DJ Reed. Lions get the ball back, and we only get a field goal. And this is what I'm talking about, man. You can't just come away with 3 points here, and you definitely can't have a 15-yard penalty for a face mask. I thought the Lions played a fairly clean game. It was lopsided penalty-wise by the refs, but 15-yard penalty in this situation is not allowable, right? It's not acceptable. And Christian Mahogany's going to have to learn from that one. The next play after that was a 1-yard run and then an incompletion and then a field goal. So you've got to come away with points. I can't blame John Morton, 100% on that, but I definitely wouldn't have handed the ball off on, what was it? It was 2nd and 22, and you hand the ball off. Like, what are you doing, dude? Go to the end zone. Don't hand the ball off.
Yeah.
I hear my dog up there barking. Sorry. Next possession by the Ravens is a punt. After that, the Lions go up and get a touchdown, 38-24. Ravens come back in junk time and get another touchdown, closes the gap, 38-30. Lions end the game. One play, -1 yard, 29 seconds. Detroit Lions win 38-30. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of our concerns out of this game. I guess what were some of your concerns outside of maybe some play calling after turnovers? Anything else that comes to mind tonight for you?
Well, listen, it's a concern, but it's not. And it's just baffling me through 3 games. Jahmyr Gibbs tonight had 22 carries for 67 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 yards per carry with a long of 9 yards, where David Montgomery had 12 attempts, almost half, with 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 12.6 per carry. So 3 yards a carry and 12.6 yards a carry. Is there something going on with Gibbs? Why is Gibbs not getting these explosive plays that he had all last year?
It was just one game. And
no, because he didn't get them in the last game or the game before.
He absolutely did against the Bears.
What did Gibbs?
He didn't in week 1, and nobody did
Yeah.
in week 1, but he did against the Bears. But I will say this, there's a difference between styles and the way that they run, and without watching the tape, watching the film, which I'll do tomorrow, and I'll have a better answer. I would say this, the Ravens were selling out completely when Gibbs was in the game. They were not going to let him hit that outside zone. You saw 4 to 5 shirts for the Ravens going to the right or going to the left and making sure that Gibbs, they were containing, right? They were not going to let him get outside because once he gets outside, he's gone. So I think that's one side of it. The other side of it is, sometimes in a game, you've got this ebb and a flow, right? And I feel like certain defenses against certain offenses allow certain things to happen and vice versa. Montgomery has this little bit of a patience, which Gibbs does too, but it's just different with Montgomery. He has this stutter step and a little bit of patience, a little bit of hezzy to him. And I think that's just allowing a little bit of a crease. And every time he hit that inside zone, it was there. And he found that little bit of light, and he had some big runs tonight. But you notice that when Gibbs had some inside zone looks too, much better game for him. It was the outside that the Ravens were protecting. I expected the Lions to go inside zone in this game. I wasn't expecting a ton of outside zone. At least that's what I thought in the pregame show and in the keys to the game show. They just couldn't get it done. They couldn't get it done because the Ravens were going to overcommit, which tells me, though, when you overcommit to one side, why didn't you pass the ball? Something should have been open there in play action. And if they would have sold the play action a little bit more, and there were, at times Jared Goff was under pressure or even quick pressure, unlike Lamar Jackson, it doesn't matter if he's under quick pressure. He gets that ball out so damn quick. If you're selling that play action a little bit more, that outside zone ends up opening up at some point. And it's not like he was bottled up all night, but he ran the ball an awful lot in the first quarter and a half before, Montgomery really got inserted into the game, and that just drove his numbers down, pretty far. So what else did you think?
The other thing, just on defense, the one thing worrying me right now is Terrion. Is he going to get it together?
Terrion Arnold. So we'll just go to the chat and ask, what are you guys thinking about Terrion Arnold? And before I forget, I'm going to get through the stats, and then I'm going to open up the phone line. So the phone line, if you look at the screen right now, if you look at the top left corner of your screen, you'll see a graphic that shows up. And so the numbers should be flowing. We'll take calls in about 7 minutes. Give me 7 minutes. We'll take a couple of calls. I'm not going to be on forever tonight. It's already midnight. But Terrion Arnold gave up some big plays tonight, and he definitely looked out of sorts. I think that 100% right. We have a little bit of worry here, but he's still early, man. I know that there's some people that were saying that he was a bust, and go ahead.
No, I don't think he's a bust. I'm just saying, do we have something to worry about here?
I think it's early.
He got another pass interference call here on a very important play where he could have just let the guy go. He didn't even have to touch the guy. He wasn't catching that ball. Because Lamar did not float it.
I think it's a level of concentration that, right now, this is a big game. And I think that maybe his level of concentration wasn't there. And that obviously led to some pretty big plays. Wow. I did find Dan Campbell here. I'll bring him in just a moment.
Yeah. Here's a quick stat while you're doing that. The Lions did not turn the ball over, did not allow a sack, and missed only 4 tackles on defense in their win over the Ravens.
That's insane.
That is insane. We should have won by 25.
We definitely left at least 14 points on the board. I'll say this, man. My overall take, offensive line, 90% played a great game. 90% of the game played great. Defense, obviously, when you're getting pressure and you're able to get to Lamar, they were winning with 4. They were winning with 3 at times. The spy worked great. We didn't have to overcommit with 5 or 6 or 7 guys. Exact plan by Calvin Shepard. I couldn't have said it better myself last week. Yeah. It's what he needed to do. He needed to trust his guys to win and allow that containment zone to effectively give Lamar pressure, right? Because that's what it did. It effectively gave him pressure. Anytime you have a linebacker staring at you in the face and you don't have anywhere to go, well, you're going to go down eventually.
Yeah. And that fourth quarter was a thing of beauty by our defense. It really was. That was one of the best quarters of football our defense has played in a very, very long time.
I got a question for everybody in the chat real quick. Do we still need Zadarius Smith?
Welcome home.
Do we still need Zadarius Smith? Just wondering. I know it's only one game, so I'm not going to overplay it too much. Yeah. It's just one game, but just so you guys know, Zadarius Smith only has 20 snaps on the season for $9 million. 20 snaps. Exactly what I was worried about with that dude. All right, let me make sure we get this audio in. Let's get Dan Campbell rolling. I can't wait to hear what he says.
All right.
Player of the game for me, El-Kadi Muhammad. By far. I know Aiden and finally had a couple of stats, but El-Kadi Muhammad made the bigger plays at the right time. And without those plays, I don't think the Lions are in this game at the time that they finally got into this game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, Dan Campbell at the podium. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll come back to you.
However you want to say it, we were going to need we were going to need each other to find a way to win this game. You know, the offense was going to need the defense to pick it up. Special teams was going to need the offense to pick it up, and vice versa. So, man, I thought we played complementary football. We did exactly what we said we needed to do. We were able to corral Lamar. We didn't let Henry get going and Zay Flowers. You know, we came away with takeaways and big stops. And offensively, we were able to control the ground and the time of possession, and our receivers and Goff made plays in critical moments in this game. I just thought it was an outstanding team effort, man. I was proud of the players. I was proud of the coaches. I thought Shep and Johnny and Phipp both did a hell of a job in this game, or all of them did a hell of a job. So it's just a huge win.
You guys never had one here in franchise history on field. Was it a statement win for you guys that show that we can compete with the league's elite, you know, with these guys as well? Like, what does victory do for you?
Well, look, I've got a lot of respect for Coach Harbaugh and this team and those players that are over there, and we know what they've been for years, for a number of years. They're always competitive, and they're always the cream of the crop over there in the AFC, with a few teams. And so to be able to come in here on a Monday night at their place with those weapons, that type of team, that's a good win for us, I don't know, statement, all this and that, but it just feels good to know against a type of team like that, you play a different type of game and you're able to find a way to win. So one of the things I mentioned early in this year is I told the team I want to find out how many different ways we can win games, because the better you get at winning, the more you win. So that took everything we had, and I was proud of the players.
The way you did it too, Dan. I mean, you talked about physicality. Some of your coaches did too. About what happened last time you came in here to control the line of scrimmage, the sacks you had on Lamar, the long scoring drives. What did that mean to do it your way?
I think it means a lot. I mean, it's those guys. You don't have to say much. I mean, we got enough guys that were here the last time, and they also know. Yeah, I mean, you got to be blind not to see what that team does and how they play, and the physicality, the toughness, the nature of everything they're about, their identity, that you better be ready. You better be ready. You can't come in here and tiptoe. So we were ready. And like I say, it was a big win. It took every one of us. And I just thought the players, man, they stepped up and made huge plays at critical times.
You talked about corralling Lamar. Lots of question marks with Marcus obviously being out here, but you racked up 7 sacks. I think that's tied for a career high with Lamar, and really contained him out of the pocket all day long. How proud were you of that defensive effort up front with your front 7, especially getting after you?
Very proud, very proud. I mean, a number of guys stepped up, but I think something we worked on it. Look, Wednesday, we had Malik running quarterback, and he had some big. He had a big day of practice, and he had a big day, and it opens your eyes a little bit. You coach it up, you tweak a couple of things, Shep and those guys. You come out Thursday and it's better, but we're still like, man, this guy's running around and we can't get him contained. And then by Friday, man, you're pretty good. And so I felt really good about what we were going to be able to do. The rest is just wait until Monday night to see it go, see it in action. But those guys were very disciplined. They played off each other. They casted the net. They closed the net. We didn't have anybody jumping up in the air, diving, ill-advised diving. Man, they all bottled him up. They were disciplined, and guys made, huge plays, and he had nowhere to go, and that's the key. So that takes an enormous amount of discipline for your guys, and they did that. I mean, across the board, all of them.
What does it do for the confidence of a football team when you can string together 2 95-yard drives in a row like that?
It's big. It's big. That's not easy to do when you're backed up like that. And normally the goal is 3 first downs. That way you get 3 first downs, you're able to flip field position. And now but to go above and beyond that and travel the distance against, that opponent, the crowd noise, the whole thing, man, that was impressive. And our guys had to dig. Now they had to dig. Those are long drives, but they did it, man. They did it.
Morgan said you wanted to have your guys. Sorry, you said that you wanted your guys to win different ways, but like the old Tom Evansky baseball tapes, I guess if there's a Dan Campbell how to coach, how to win a football game, is that right there, the MO, is that the DVD handed out?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess it would be pretty close to that. But it was also, this is the type of game. This is the type of game that was needed for this opponent. Not everyone is going to always be the same. You'd love to say, it's always going to be that type, and you got to play this way. But all of them are different, and some games it takes more explosives. You got to get more explosives than it does just true groundwork. The ground sets it up, and defensively you got to play a little different. But it was what was needed against this team for this opponent. And I thought the guys handled it perfectly. Hold on a minute. Go ahead.
In the middle, John and Sean.
You mentioned the offensive being in tough field position. The defense was kind of putting some tough spots as well.
Yeah.
How encouraging is that to be able to stop the Ravens offense when they were put in some good positions themselves?
It's very encouraging. And I go back to this. It was just one of those points. It's easier said than done, but at some point, we're going to need one or two of the units to step up for the other one, and it wasn't a full game of that, but it was enough to where we stepped up and made play. Hutch made some huge plays. Muhammad made huge plays. Jack Campbell, Reed. I mean, we can go down Goff, Saint, freaking Demo, that old line, Sewell. I mean,
everybody.
We just at different times in critical moments, our guys stepped up, and when we needed it most, every unit picked up the slack, and that's what winning teams do. That's what they do.
John? Dan, with the performance with 7 sacks, how much momentum can the defense get after a performance like that, especially with all the talk on the outside about the lack of sacks in the pass rush?
Well, I mean, we know what we got here. We don't need, anybody telling us what we do or don't have, or, I thought you were going to ask me about motioning today. I felt like but we feel good about it, man. We feel good about it, and look,
Sorry
it takes
the
everybody
F-bomb on the
doing their
timeout.
job, and our guys did that, so it was good.
Sean?
Dan, it's one thing to go from fourth down there. This is probably your culture at this point, but to call that down the field like that, just can you speak to the belief, confidence you had? I guess putting in your two best offensive players, well, along with Sewell. Yeah.
Well, I think, man, I got a tremendous amount of trust in those guys, and that's been built up now in 5 years, right? And that helps. And that offensive line, the way they were playing, and we just felt like that was the right call. And it's those guys, it's the players, man. They're the ones who make this stuff come to life. And they've earned that trust, and they just, once again, man, they step up and make huge plays at critical times. And it's unbelievable. It really is. It's a thing of beauty, man.
One more real quick in the middle.
Aiden Hutchinson on the strip of Derrick Henry looked like he got upfield and was able to recover, high effort play. Then he gets Lamar on the next play. When you have your stars giving that much effort deep into tough physical games, how does that spread among the rest of that group?
Well, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Our hardest workers are our best players. It's not lip service. It's not fake. It's not our best players are our hardest workers. Go out and watch them practice, and it's like that every day. And so that's the standard. That's the standard. So if you're not up to that standard with the effort matching what our best players do, then you're not going to be around here very long. So that makes the rest of your guys, everybody just falls in line. Anybody that comes in or we acquire, the young guys, all of it, man. And that's the way we play. That's what we do.
I think you guys would have Jared, Aiden, and David all in here. Maybe the locker room this way.
But really, we talked about
guys, your prior successes.
I love it how Dan is still fielding questions. He just walks off. It's like he gets the bat signal from the guy that's keeping the time. Like, all right, that's it. Dan's done. He's out. You know what I'm saying? Hardly ever do you see Dan not finish. But man, what a long day for these guys. What a hell of a game for these guys. Great win. I want to bring up a few points. Last week, when Malik was brought in, I did a video and I said, this is exactly why this guy was brought in. he was brought in to mimic Lamar Jackson. He is referred to as the poor man's Lamar Jackson. And I don't know why everybody jumped down my throat and everyone said that I was full of shit and blah, 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 blah. And that's not what he's here for. You just heard Dan say it. Dan just said that on Wednesday, Malik had a very hard practice running around being Lamar Jackson. It's exactly why this team is smarter than the rest. They went and found a guy that could do, similar things. Never exact to what Lamar can do, but it gave us a different look because we don't have anybody on the team that can do that outside of overusing Gibbs or overusing J-Mo. And you don't want to put guys in that sort of a situation. Number 2, Dan Campbell doesn't mince words when he says our hardest working guys on the team are our best players. This is something that you don't witness very often. I don't know if a lot of the Lions fans understand and really appreciate. I know a lot of people in this room and in this community understand and appreciate it. But when you have a group of guys that are getting paid $20 million a year or more, because there's a handful of them on this team now, those guys on most teams are not the hardest working guys. They're clocking their ends, right? They're punching a clock. They're getting out. They don't want to get hurt. They want to be prima donnas. They don't want to block downfield. They're hoping that they can win with some explosive plays. Not this team, man. Not this team. I seen shoulders thrown tonight, blocks getting put on guys everywhere. I mean, this team blocks downfield for a reason. And I'm going to have to highlight Sam Laporta because I didn't last week when I promised that I would. I'll probably won't be able to do it tomorrow, but I'll do it the next day. That he talks about it all the time. How much of a hard-working team this is at blocking downfield. And you've seen it tonight. You've seen some big blocks tonight, and that's why this team can win. I'm not going to be extremely late tonight because we have a lot to go over. Obviously, tomorrow, 8 o'clock comes really early, or 5:30 for me. But what are some key points you want to take away from Dan Campbell's press conference?
He believes in the guys he's got in the room. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday when that quarterback may not be with the Lions anymore.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. That's what they're brought in to do.
Yeah. But I think that's what it was. It was a 1 week. We want to know what's up with the Ravens, and we need somebody to be our mobile quarterback But hey, maybe the guy made an impression. Maybe he sticks around for a little while. Because our defense does need help with those mobile quarterbacks. I don't think we're going to be playing one next week because Joe Flacco is a statue. So if we can get 7 sacks against Lamar Jackson, what can we do against Flacco? Because that is not a very good offensive line for the Browns coming up.
It's interesting because it's interesting when you think about that, because you have a plan for Lamar, and that's not the same kind of plan that you're going to have for a Flacco, because Flacco is not mobile, right? And you're thinking, okay, now we're going to use a lot of guys to get after him, as opposed to doing what you just did against Lamar. I mean, it's totally different. It's totally different kind of a game, and I'm not really prepared to go into all that, but I hear what you're saying. Like, we should be able to get after him. Mm-hmm. You should, in theory, after what you just witnessed. And what you just witnessed, it's not normal. It's not normal, but I think that they executed at a much higher level. I hate to say this, but I think the Lions played well above their means tonight. And I'm not saying that they don't have those means. I just think that they executed at a high level in the fourth quarter. And I can't wait to watch the film and see where Calvin Shepard made some adjustments with that defense, because I think that there was plenty. Huge win.
Peter Van Larhoven in the chat, he's like, stop, they just beat Green Bay and their defense is outstanding. I didn't say anything about the defense for the Browns. The defense for the Browns is great, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to guarantee it right now. The Detroit Lions will score more than 10 points on that defense against the Browns at Ford Field on Sunday. Book it right now. Put it in the books. The Lions will score more than 10 points on Sunday against the Browns.
Well, they absolutely will. I mean, are we trying to say that? Are we trying to say that?
Everybody's
Green Bay is the best team in the league right now? Absolutely not.
They're not the best team.
I got another quick question though. Why are we bringing up Vaki? Who's talking about Vaki right now?
Oh, because he got hurt, probably.
Why is he just bringing up Vaki consistently? Vaki had one of the best special teams plays all night tonight.
Yeah, he did.
And then he got hurt. So yeah. That's misplaced aggression or whatever you want to call it, Peter, saying leave him on the bench or he's not special. He's one of the best special teamers in the league. Flat out.
He's dealing with a knee or a groin or a hamstring or something because when I was at camp, you remember that? And he got hurt right in front of me and they were working on him and nobody else reported it until the next day.
He might have re-aggravated and quite honestly, he might have been brought back too early.
Yeah.
And that could be the downfall of Vaki that, maybe he just needs to go on IR for 4 weeks and get healthy, and which sucks because we need him. Like, he's a really good gunner and he's also electric as a returner. So it'd be nice to get him back. Quick defensive stats. Jack Campbell, you're the leading tackler. I said that Jack Campbell had to have a big game tonight. He was the leading tackler, 1 sack, 1 TFL, 8 sacks on the night. Derek Barnes, the other linebacker, had a good game tonight, 7 tackles. By the way, Jack Campbell's tackles all solo. 8 tackles, 8 solo. He threw Lamar like he was nothing, and so did Nowaski. That Nowaski is just, he dehumanized Lamar tonight. I've never seen a linebacker do that to Lamar. So Derek Barnes, 7 tackles, 4 solo. He also had a sack. Brian Branch, iffy game by Brian Branch. It was good at spurts. He also got beat a couple of times pretty badly, especially on the tight ends. 6 tackles tonight. Al-Qadim Muhammad, man, player of the game, 2.5 sacks, 2 TFLs, 3 quarterback hits. He definitely said, pay me that Z money tonight. Pay me that Z money. Alex Anzalone, 4 tackles, 1 solo, half a sack. Aiden Hutchinson finally got on the stat sheet, 2 tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack, 1 TFL. Zach Cunningham had some good plays tonight. He didn't show up in the stat line a whole lot, 2 tackles and a sack, but man, he had some big plays. Trevor Nowaski, 2 tackles, 1 solo, 1 sack, 1 TFL. And that rounds out all of your sacks. 7 sacks tonight, 6 TFLs. 2 passes defensed, 7 quarterback hits. Let me roll into one more stat line, then we'll do some giveaways real quick.
There you go.
Jared Goff. Wow, I don't know how Lamar Jackson does it. Jared Goff, 20 of 28, 202 yards, 1 TD, no interceptions, 71.4% completion rate, 103.6 rating, 7.2 per attempt. Lamar on the other side, 21 of 27, 288, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 77.8 completion percentage, 148.1, 10.7 per attempt. That's an ungodly night. Stat of the night is right here. Derrick Henry, 12 attempts, 50 yards, 4.2 average, which is 1.5 lower than his average so far this season. I said that he wasn't going to get more than 75. He got 50. I said that we wouldn't give 100 yards up. They only gave up 85. So a good night by the Detroit Lions defense. Leading receiver on the night. I don't know how. St. Brown. Where did he come from?
Yeah, it was all that dink and dunk stuff.
Yeah, 8 targets, 7 receptions, 77 yards. And a lot of the majority of it was that big pass play at the end. 1 TD for him. Long at 20.
And I do have to say, my bet for Derrick Henry to get 70 yards or more tonight, that did not hit. It did jinx them, just like we said.
That's right. You did bet against.
Yep.
David Montgomery, 151 yards on the ground tonight. He gets my game ball. Al-Qadim Muhammad gets my game ball on the other side. Great game by those two. I mean, it's hard not to hand out several in this game. But if I only had to pick two, it's Montgomery and it's Al-Qadim Muhammad. You agree or disagree?
Totally agree. Our running backs had 4 touchdowns today. That's efficiency right there. You're not asking Goff to put it up 60 times in a game. You're not even asking him to put it up 30 times in a game. Perfect. This was perfection tonight. I know we could have put a lot more points on the board, but you know what? Every pundit in America, every talk show, everybody picked the effing Ravens tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Every Ravens fan in that building had 100% confidence going into this game that they were going to steamroll us and come away with a victory. And they were going to win by 14 points. Well, you know what? This should vault the Lions into the top 3 or 4 in every power ranking that there is.
But yeah, I got a question. I got a question.
Yeah.
What about our coordinators? We were supposed to lose.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to win any games this year because we lost our coordinators.
Yeah.
Huh.
2 out of 3 games ain't so bad.
Here's the other thing about players being healthy. It's football. And after week 1, nobody's healthy. Not one of these players is fully healthy. If they're on a report, that just means that they're injured beyond the ability to play. Every single one of these guys is carrying an injury right now. Every single one. So none of them are healthy. It's just some of them are finally put down for the betterment of their health. And that's just the way it goes, man. It's football. You're not guaranteed to last in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You're not guaranteed to last an entire season. And if you are, you're probably not playing hard enough. Honestly.
I like what Brent Lighton put. I'll take 90 points in the last 2 games for our crappy new offensive coordinator.
There you go. There you go.
I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it too. I'll take it, buddy. That's perfect. We're averaging 45 a game the last 2 games.
All right, do us a quick favor. If you guys are new in tonight, please smash that subscribe button. I know everyone forgets, but help us out. Hit that subscribe button, toggle on notifications. I promise you only get 3 a day. That's it. That's the most you'll ever get from this channel is 3 a day, and that's because that's all YouTube allows. And half the time I don't even put notifications on when I put stuff out just to see how things do. What was I just doing? I was going to do a giveaway, but I was trying to do something on the back end here. Not letting me. Oh, I wanted to check my Twitter. I wanted to see if Dan Orlovsky replied. Probably not. Let's see. Nope, he didn't reply. Go figure. Okay. How many people we got in? 115? 130? How many's in here?
60.
115, I think. All right, so I've got a Chris Spielman. This is a very special helmet. This is a salute to service green helmet. Detroit Lions with the stripe down the middle. So
you know what?
Yeah.
With the points we scored tonight, we are tied for the most points scored in the league.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I put up some big numbers. If you haven't followed along with some of my articles, it's free to subscribe. The Detroit Football Journal, I've got annual and weekly going on. So I've got the yearly call, and then I have the weekly call where we do a 16-game parlay, which we have yet to hit. Done fairly well. I mean, I was second in the nation before this week. I'm pretty sure I got dropped a couple of rungs. I called for 7 upsets, and I think I picked the wrong 7. So it'll be it's gonna be a tough couple of weeks to get back. But if you're not following along, let me throw this in here for you guys to check out. Here's my keys to the game before the game. There's that. And here's the Rocks Locks. You want to check that one out. And then this is the season that gets updated every Tuesday afternoon. I'll update this one. So those are the 3 that I'm doing throughout the season. And let's give this helmet away. So there's 110 people in. I'm going to do a number between 1 and 100. 1 and 100. And you can go. Right after I put go in the chat. Go. 1 through 100. Oh, Brett Lighton got it again. The number was 20 for how many receptions that Jared Goff had tonight. It was 20. Let me just double check and make sure that we don't have someone else before him. I don't see. And now I just lost his number. There he is. Yep, 20 was the answer. Brett Lighton, you got it again, man. Make sure you drop me that email. All right, and then let's give away one more of the flags. These support the Detroit Lions Foundation and food insecurity throughout the community. So it's a 3x5. It takes more flag. And we'll just do, again, 1 through 100. And you can go.
17. I didn't win.
I don't understand. Why is YouTube holding up the number 88?
Robbie wants. He puts in 17.
Yeah, well, it definitely wasn't going to be that.
So I just came across a really neat stat. So the Ravens lead the league right now with a total of 14 touchdowns. In second place, the Lions have 13.
Say that one more again.
So the Ravens have the most touchdowns in the league through 3 weeks with 14 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lions have 13. So only one less. But we had a really crap game. We have that first game of the season it was awful.
Oh, there it is. Krista H. got it, 55. And that is how many tackles the Detroit Lions had tonight, according to ESPN.
Oh, really?
55. 55 total tackles. Going out to Krista H. And, oh, hey, here we go. There's a $20 donation by Jody Carithers. Says, woo-hoo-hoo, we are good. Appreciate you. Always dropping it in. All right, Detroit Lions win, man. We are 2-1. We are on our way to take on the Browns this upcoming week. Please do us again the favor of liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Let's push our way to 10,000 and beyond this year. And I'll be right back in the morning with the Rise of Grind morning show. At 8 o'clock is going to come quick, so I'm going to go get some shut-eye. You guys have been great. Appreciate you guys again for joining us tonight. Good to see you back in the saddle, Eric. And, man, I got one final question.
Yeah.
How does Dan Campbell have a voice? I know
don't
some
I
games
wouldn't.
he doesn't really have a voice, but my voices would be gone. It would absolutely be gone. So, all right, you guys. There's a yawn. It's time to go. We'll see you guys in the morning. Take care. Go and probably go Detroit Lions. Adios.
Pressured by Hutchinson.